I love that this is what it is, and I love that this is telling your story, and I love that this is a platform that can do some fantastic, wonderful things. Um, I don't even know if you remember this, but you gave me a word back on my birthday, um, a year and a few months ago, and you gave me the word liminal, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know what liminal was. I don't, and I love everything about the word liminal. Liminal is, for everybody else, liminal is a place of change. It is where you're here and you're trying to go there. It's the middle part where you're in change, you're in transition, you're going through hell or whatever you're going through. I love there's a picture that I love and I use it in coaching all the time. It's you can't get to the place where the magic happens while you're in a comfort zone. So your comfort zone is here, place where the magic happens is over here. And I feel like in between, that's the liminal place, or the liminal place is like the breaking out of your comfort zone, going into something new, trying something different, doing challenges, doing programs, whatever. And I think that this right here should be the start of the liminal place.
I agree.
But I don't want it to be mine. I want it to be ours. And I want it to be a platform for people like Michelle, who runs Oscar Mike for the East Coast with Josh. Get them on, let them tell their story.
Man. Look at the people we have around.
Yeah,
us.
the people we hang out with are pretty awesome. But there's many people like that. There's many people like that. And there's a place for people to be able to learn from others. You've even talked about, getting, Elena and you on a podcast and doing something special there. Shelly and I on a podcast could probably be pretty special as well. And giving that place, giving that liminal place to be able to make things like that happen.
I think it starts. You nailed it. And sorry, I'm excited about it. I think that we are on the cusp of of all the bad that's going on. Of course, we're going through so much worldwide with the pandemic and politically and worldwide and everything. I think that we've also, while we know all these bad changes are happening, I think one of the things we aren't recognizing is this is the place where growth happens too.
Absolutely.
Where people like you and people like me find our footing to get more like-minded people to be the strength when people need strength.
Yep.
When it's just chaos on the right and chaos on the left and chaos in the center, there is a certain amount of neutrality and or comfort in finding comfort in the uncomfortable. So this is the place where we'll grow. And if people can understand, oh, it's so bad right now. Yes, but that's where the growth happens. That's where the meat happens. That's where the real good stuff happens.
Yep.
Not when you're not being challenged. Like you just said, that our liminal area where we are. Have you ever read the Odyssey or the Iliad? No.
My wife makes fun of me because I apparently spent a lot of time playing baseball and
Right.
And working and
I was
girls
made
and
to.
all that.
Let me
in
throw
high
that
school.
out there.
So,
I was made to. But the Odyssey and the Iliad, they're written in a Greek way called immedius ra, which is in the middle of things, which is basically the liminal place.
Awesome. So
they pick up where that portion happens. They tell you about how they got to there, okay? And then they finish it. So if you read the Iliad, they start in the middle, and I think it's either that or the Odyssey. It's one of the two. Sorry, it's been years, decades. But they start in the middle of the story, and then they show you how they got to the story by going to the beginning. And then they pick up the story and show you what they took from it and how it ended.
Yep.
So immedius ra is a really good way to do it. The liminal space is a really good way to do it. If you're in that zone right now, that's where you want to be. But mental note, guys, it's quiet there.
Yeah.
It's like the eye. It's like that area. It's like, because you're not struggling. You've already made it through the beginning. You've already struggled a lot. Still have some struggles. It's life. Now you're to the point where you're getting the knowledge. Now you're applying it. Your superpowers are good enough that you're keeping the chaos at bay because you control your chaos, because you control your uncomfortability, because you control the path of most resistance, by the way, then now you're able to operate. You're in this almost hybrid place where you're not being pulled down by the chains of the things that pulled you down before. You're excited about the things that are in front of you, and you're happy about what you've accomplished. Now you're in that spot.
Yeah.
You know? You're in that spot where you can make real change. I have people that identify with me that nod when I talk, and I nod when they talk. The Hughes, the Bills, the Justins, my wife Elena, Sydney Kaminsky, Jack Ross, these people that I've accomplished these amazing things with, where we get it.
Yeah.
When you get to the liminal spot, you almost like a club. It's almost like I see you.
Yeah.
I see Goggins shirts, 75 hard stickers, those types of things. And I'm like,
Peloton Century shirts.
Peloton Century Ride shirts, Ridge
Yeah.
wallets.
Yeah. True.
There are things where I'm like, oh, okay. I love it.
Yeah.
And that's where the real change happens. That's where the real good stuff happens.
Absolutely.
You know, and you tell 24-year-old Matt you're going to have to go through a lot of pain. He's going to be really upset with you. But you tell 45-year-old Matt that he has to go through it again to get where he is today. He's going to do it tomorrow.
He's going to do it. Absolutely. Yep.
I had a choice. Is
Yep.
it mediocrity for a very long time, or
Yep. Well, this is not the end.
no, without
This
a doubt.
is-
I feel like
this
it's the
is
beginning. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is the beginning. This is where you know, I've said to you since we started talking, even before coaching, like I've had this sense that you and I are going to do some
Great
pretty
things.
awesome things in this world.
I walk back in this building after being gone for 5 years. And I now know that I can say this without assuming anything. When I saw you, it fit.
Yep.
When I saw Justin, it fit.
Yep.
Other people are like, oh, welcome back. Bruce Farrell, that's a good one too. Him and I are.
Yeah.
But almost I don't know what it is, almost an unspoken, like we just said, that liminal space, that nod, that wink, that,
Yeah.
okay. I might not have been able to do it, but if I have him with me, I know I can at least start, and then I can go on my own. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I need, like, you remember when I quit drinking, and then you know, we
Yeah.
call it a spade a spade. We originally started quitting drinking, and you went through a period of time where you were handing out justified excuses. I was too, reasons for certain things, and I'm not. Have you gone zero?
So, like one or two a year.
Right? Like none. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to make that point of we are pre-programmed with excuses to do it. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, Jeff woke up, who's my coach, by the way, who woke up and went, "Yeah, I'm not. I just don't have any room for it." And that's what it came to. I mean, there's appropriate. I now do it zero because I have a platform that I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
I very well could have been in. I could have gone down to. I do believe this. What was it? Gosh darn it, Antigua. Excuse me. For New Year's Eve, we went to Antigua. I very easily could have had New Year's Eve drinking.
Absolutely.
And not drink afterwards. I do believe that. For those of you that are struggling with alcoholism, let me make this very, very, very clear. I'm not your standard 12-step alcoholic. That line. I do believe that I had a problem with alcohol. The smell, taste, and whatever don't make me trigger. Mm-hmm. I don't. I drink non-alcoholic beers, non-alcoholic wine, and things like that, and I don't get triggered. So I just want to put that out there. There are people who can't do that, and those of you that need that type of support, I'll be there to help 100%. But moral story is I could have had some drinks on New Year's Eve. But at that point, it has become ingrained as a part of who I am.
Yep.
And I wasn't willing. I wasn't willing to give everyone the excuse of, look what he did. Ha ha! New Year's Eve on a vacation. That's when he did it. He did it. Look what he did. He had a drink. Look what he did. He had a drink. Because I may only be helping 33 of the 1233, but the other 1,200, most of the time, are usually rooting for me to fail a little bit. Yeah. Sorry, it's an inherent thing. We all know it's not true. It's a spade, call another one of those things out. Most of the people who are calling you out, by the way, let's keep in mind that whoever is putting you down or making fun of you for it isn't doing any of it, by the way. Let's just point that out.
Yeah.
No one doing what I'm doing is making fun of me for doing what I'm doing.
Yep.
everyone who can't do it has no problem making fun of me for it. The opportunity to sit here and do this with you is like a dream come true. We've been talking about it for so long.
Yeah,
It's so stinking cool to be able to have this opportunity to do it and have this
Absolutely.
environment. And thank you, Atlantic Bay, for letting us use your room.
No joke.
So cool. You know, we get this outside stuff. I think that, you know, for lack of a better term, I got a pretty big man crush on the guy across the way. He's helped me, helped me like you wouldn't believe in my coaching and my friendship and my, you know, this brethren that I have. I said years and years ago, and I want to say it publicly, God took a Jeff away, but he gave me a Jeff. And
That means a lot.
I feel like God said, here.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, we all know that my brother had a lot of faults and a lot of things that he was bad at, but I'll tell you what he had that no one I've ever met has, and probably until I met you, is you guys have the same heart. The name and the heart,
It's awesome.
you know, and you would have loved him.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things we probably need to figure out, though, and probably the reason why we're talking on this podcast, where do we go from here?
Yeah, true that. True that.
What are we going to do with what we have? Because I
So-
think it would be bad not to use it.
Absolutely. So I think what this does is this creates a voice. It creates a place where we can help other people. That's what I want to do. My goals are very simple. I want to make the world a better place. I want to make myself a better human, and I want to make the world a better place.
And at the same time, we take our kids,
Yeah.
we take our wife.
Yep.
I think defining what actual real cool 2021 masculinity is cool. I think
Yeah.
there's a place right now for that definition to be inputted in what America and what the world is right now.
Absolutely.
There's been a lot of screaming about what everybody thinks it is or what it isn't, and that's femininity or whether it be masculinity. And I think there's a healthy masculinity that we get to still stay who we are, but have the compassion of actual humans and emotion.
Yeah.
I think that recognizing and dealing with traumas. Now, remember that part. Recognizing and dealing with traumas is huge.
Yeah.
I think giving men and women and children their specific mentor or mentee to be able to have them tell their story or come out of their box or make that progress is huge. So clearly I'm not the guy that's going to help fix everybody, but I'm here for you. Jeff, you're not either. But what, you know, the good news is that we know a lot of people and a lot of different skill sets in life.
Well, and the thing is, like, just like we're here today. Like, we're here today because you had a story to tell. You had this beautiful story that's inside of you. But, you know, I tell people all the time, like, if you have a great idea or you have a great heart or you have a great passion and you keep it locked within four walls or, you know, and four walls just being, you know, an example, it's nobody else is going to hear it.
Ever.
So, you know, to get out to the world, to be able to have an outlet, to be able to get out to the world. And like you said, like, what if only one person watches this or two people? Let's say our wives watch this. Great.
They will.
They will.
Hi, Shelly.
Hey, Elena. So, you know, but if we can impact one person, if we can create if we can create a platform where we can help impact more people, and, you know, that one person has a sphere of influence that, you know, and if we can impact one person in that sphere, they have a sphere of influence, the more we can get out, the more that we can give the platform for change to happen, for people to be able to break out of their comfort zones and get to where the magic happens. Life is supposed to be fun. Like, life is supposed to be amazing.
If you're saying you're doing something to help people and then you get upset that you only helped one person, was your goal really only to help people?
Yeah.
What if
Yeah.
that was the one person?
Yep.
You know, use my story. What if that was the one? What if my brother was driving down the road and played this vodcast before he drove to Suffolk and did what he did?
Yeah.
One person is enough.
Absolutely.
It's not, you know, I think this, again, the clarity of why we do what we were doing and what I was feeling earlier when I had the problems that I had is that 500 people watch this. Awesome. If one person gets anything out of it, spectacular.
Absolutely.
I don't you had mentioned earlier, there's no sponsors, there's no us looking for money. It's not going to be, it's not the point to maybe go viral. Again, only viral if it helped 1,000 people type thing. The goal is to help at least one.
Yeah.
Identifying with alcohol, fast family traumas, addiction, emotion, anxiety, depression, all of these mental health matters, things that we deal with all the time. To let you know, people like Jeff Ferry and people like myself and people that we hang out with, we go through some of the worst trauma too. We've been through things that would pale in comparison, that would just crush certain people. And you've been through things that would pale in comparison, that make us pale in comparison. That's the story we want to hear because you're still standing.
And everybody's got a story.
Everyone. It doesn't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Jeff, that's a really great way to segue. Every single person has a story, and every single person has a valid reason for being who they are or how they think. It needs to be heard in a lot of cases. Now, maybe you only have one example, or maybe you have 50 examples, but one of those lessons of you overcoming whatever you've gone through to show that you do not have to live in the trauma zone, that you get to that liminal space, that you get to the point where you're actually impacting and helping others by that one story, then isn't that the reason why you went through it?
Yeah.
It wasn't to get the pain. God didn't go, or like I said, I'm trying to be pretty politically correct. God or your higher power, or the secret, or whatever the heck you believe in, didn't go, you know what? I think I'm going to do this to him just so he'll feel pain.
Yep.
Or whatever the world is saying at the time. No, it's...
And not everybody's going to want to tell their story.
No.
And that's okay. It's okay. But for those people that want to, for people who hear this and know that this exists, that come across this and know somebody that has a story that could help others. That's what I want. That's what I want. That's why we're doing this.
And make it also known with what you said. Maybe they don't want to tell their story, but guess what? That is also a person that is absolutely dealing.
Yeah.
Maybe the person just needs to be able to deal with it internally quietly. Let's not forget that either.
Oh,
There are folks that please understand that we're not, your healing is your healing and how you do it. And I know that a lot of people can sit across from somebody and talk about for an hour about probably some of the most painful things they've ever been through in their lives. But what's the point? What's the point unless it's to help somebody else? I think you had said earlier, you're joking. You said this one's brought to you by love.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a big point in this. I don't want this to be sponsored. I don't want this to be a paid thing. I don't want to have to work with any guidelines that anybody else wants. This can be sponsored by whatever we want. This can be sponsored by love. This one's sponsored by love.
Mm-hmm.
Next one may be sponsored by kindness. Next one might be sponsored by Ridge Wallet, but not because they're paying.
because it's
really cool.
But you're nailing it right there, Jeff. Yeah. The point of the entire thing is to give people that, we want to curve off the edges and show you that it's okay to be who you are. Yeah. I know that we've probably been saying that since the beginning of time, and people always say that, but it's okay to be your version of who you are. And it's okay to have used your experiences to learn the lessons. And I think that if you would like to take the opportunity to maybe make an impact on somebody, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at what the impact you can make is.
Yeah.
I'm told on a daily basis, that there are, just the people that I know, whether it be Brian or whether it be you or whether it be somebody, these people that I have this luck of being around. We have one of my favorite stories as of late is that I'm with a charity organization called Guys Doing Good, and one of the organizations that we take care of is Seton Youth Shelters. Yeah. In case you didn't know, they recently lost their orphanage. Well, and again, these are totally separate worlds, but this is how my worlds combine. So, they're homeless. They've been at this place, I think, for 30 years. They had no place to go, and my company decided they would build not one but two orphanages, one for females and one for males. Now, mind you, they're not associated with this organization that I'm with. It just so happened that the really awesome, amazing human beings that stepped in to solve the problem that we had for my charity organization, and that charitable organization was my organization. At the end of the day, when you go to bed, it's pretty easy to confirm I'm around the right people.
Yeah. Yep.
I've surrounded myself with those people, and I want to make a crew. We alluded earlier to superheroes.
Yep.
You know what? In this day and age of Marvel and DC, we've all been able to get lost in these awesome movies and have this bonding experience with our children and have these heroes that exemplified things like morality and challenge and perseverance and overcoming the odds. Well, guess what? You ain't got to wear a cape to be a superhero. Mine's a Goggins symbol. Mine's mine's a water. You want my symbol? It's a gallon of water. It's a cold shower. Those are my symbols. But if you don't think we're able to make as big of an impact as Captain America can, you're crazy.
Yeah.
We can.
Absolutely. You mentioned, if we find somebody that can see through walls, like,
sweet, I have laser vision, so that's good. You're super strong.
That would be fantastic.
You can see through walls, though. You can see.
Yeah.
I can see through walls. You can see through walls. We're able to take the lessons that we've learned over the course of the past 20 years and see through the crap that other people can't see through. It's hyperbole. I understand that 100%, but it's truth. And if you don't take the actual lessons out of these superhero movies, okay, fine. My kids will tell me I'm ruining it. I am ruining it. Here's the deal. There's a lesson in everything. There's a lesson in everything, whether you're using the story of the Red Witch and the Avengers and what she went through losing her brother and her family, all the way to Captain America being too small and not appreciated. And he was, and he was able to use his heart, the Superman and with what he went through and losing his entire planet and on and on and on and on. You can go and you can use these parallel things to go, I lost my dad too. I lost my brother too. I made it out on top. So did Superman. So did all these people, and they were able to take the ultimate loss. If you look at it in the grand scheme of things, he lost an entire planet, which was his entire race, and I know it's fake, but just think about it. You're like, and what does he do? He just runs around the universe trying to help people.
Yeah.
So maybe it is a cliche, but darn it, it's a freaking good one.
Yep.
Dealt with the worst loss he could ever. And what did he do? He took what he had as his strengths, and he helped everybody around him.